Well, as Ted Cruz's campaign continues to fend off accusations of, well, not being honest, let's face it, he came in third. It's starting to weigh on him. He came in third in Nevada. And the big question now is, where does he go from here? We've got Representative Louie Gohmert, who has endorsed Ted Cruz, and he's with me now. Representative, thanks a lot for joining me.
Always good to talk to you,
Your guy, Ted Cruz, he came out of Iowa. He pulled off the shocking victory. It seemed like he had a wind in his sails. Yeah. And he's stumbled a lot since then. What's going on?
Well, he wasn't expected to do anything in New Hampshire, and he did better than expected there, much better actually. And then in South Carolina, he did pretty well.
But a month ago,
when he started getting...
A month ago, with all due respect, about a month ago, we thought he would do much better in South Carolina and Nevada, particularly among evangelicals. How has Donald Trump started winning that particular block that Ted Cruz has staked a lot of his run on?
Well, and I think you touched on it. You started having Trump, who doesn't lie, but he's on both sides of most every issue, kind of like Romney. You can find a video of him on both sides of most every issue. You've got Rubio, and his the biggest weakness, the reason he would not likely win Florida is because they remember he promised them no amnesty, gets to Washington and immediately joins forces with Schumer and McCain to sell amnesties. They hadn't forgotten that. And so the people whose biggest weakness was their credibility, as Steve King's pointed out, you know, people, when they're coming after you, they come after the strongest thing you've got. With Ted, it's his credibility. And he did have somebody that was not using good judgment. He's gotten rid of them. But I, for one, am one of several people in the House who was meeting with Ted Cruz week after week. We usually at his office, sometimes other places. We were so dejected and depressed when Marco Rubio got on board with McCain after being so excited when he won. We were struggling week after week. Slow it down. Slow down the amnesty.
Yeah,
slow down the Rubio.
Fast forward
and what I'm saying, though, is that Ted is really the most honest guy in the race, and I think that's eventually going to become very clear. Question is, how long before people realize
Right.
it?
Okay, two things you just hit on. A, it's got to become clear, because you say how long? Not long. It's got to happen immediately.
That's right.
And listen, some people say his opponents are using the Saul Alinsky handbook. On the street, the vernacular will be they flipped the script. Whatever you want to say. Now the narrative is liar, liar. When people say, hey, this particular candidate is a liar, unfortunately, people are thinking about Ted Cruz. How can he get in front of this? And by the way, should he expand his message beyond evangelicals? That's it's a particular niche in the electorate, and I don't know that they're even coming out for him anymore.
Well, and I think the other thing that we got to do is, for all the millions of Christians that for years have been saying, 2 Chronicles 7:14, if my people called by my name will humble themselves, we have got to convince them that where it goes from there is not, if you will select the only person who has never asked God for forgiveness, sought his face, or humbled himself, then you select him as leader, then God will heal your land. We got to remind them what it actually says. You can't go with the guy that's never asked for forgiveness. And I think people will come around. Ted should do extremely well in Texas. Why? Because they know him in Texas, and they know the kind of lies that have been him lying.
Representative Gohmert,
anyway, it's going to get interesting from here.
It is already interesting. The polls are tightening up there a little bit, but I know that Ted Cruz is happy to be back in Texas. And I got to tell you, you have been a patriot for all Americans in Washington, so we appreciate what you do. Thank you very much.
God bless you, Charles. Thank you.
God bless you.